because they can copy your strategies, but they can't copy you. Like there's something about Karen Fu that nobody else can copy.
Which has over 1.2 million subscribers, and he's very popular for a series of top 10 rules of success. At 19 years old, he built a company and then he just sold it. And then at 22 years old, while all the people in the early 20s are partying and all that, he was a VC and they raised millions of dollars. And to me, I think that's really, really impressive. When it comes to life in general, what is the best success advice that you can give to anybody?
Starting off with a good one right away. Let me give my answer in 30 seconds. I think the most important thing is self-awareness. I think if you first understand what your most important core value is, so my one word is believe. If you figure out what that means for you, surround yourself with people who feel the same way. It's really hard to go anywhere far on your own, and you need to have a team of people around you, both in a business context if you're an entrepreneur, but also just in life. You know, if you are around friends and family and people who you're constantly kind of hanging out with, who all they do is hate on your ideas and tell you that you can't do something or need you to go into the family business or follow a certain tradition or rule that doesn't apply for you, because what a lot of people end up doing is they do the thing that their parents want them to do or that culture demands that they do, but they hate it. You get on this career path or this track that then becomes more and more difficult to get off. So if you have the self-awareness to understand who you are and what it is that you want to do, that's step one. I think a lot of people are really frustrated. They know they don't like their life. They know they don't like what they're doing, but they don't know where they want to go. They don't know what they should be doing because they're too afraid to go off and explore, and they don't have that self-awareness yet. So I think self-awareness is the first piece. And then once you do find it, it's having the courage to actually do something about it.
A lot of people nowadays, especially young people, teenagers, they really want to go and write a book, just like how you've written your book, which is Your One Word. And I read it this morning.
Yeah, all right.
And,
nice.
Yeah. Really well written, by the way, and almost done right now.
Nice.
And what advice would you give youngsters and teenagers and even aspiring authors for them to write a best-selling book?
I think everybody should try to write a book. You should at least think about it. I think we don't try enough things. I think the greatest author in the world never actually wrote a book. I think, she's managing a Starbucks because she never tried. Don't expect to write a best-selling book. Okay. Expect to be terrible. Expect nobody to care about what you have to write. The most important thing is not the result. The most important thing is, did you enjoy the thing that you were doing? So you don't start from never writing to then writing a best-selling book. You start by writing a little bit. You write a blog, you write a Medium, or you write some pages. You just start writing and you see, did I enjoy that? Do I want to go back and do that again? Just like when you made your first trade, it's not like your first trade and now you're a millionaire.
Yeah.
It's a lot of research. Maybe you lost money on your first trade, or maybe you made a little bit of money on your first trade. Your first year as a trader, you're not going to make as much as you are now because you know a lot more. Listen, you may go off and write a bestseller. That's great. If you like writing, you like the process, eventually, as you get better, you may become a best-selling author. And you may be so good that, it comes really quickly and you have success early. Anybody who's starting off in a new career path, I encourage them to work really hard, but expect to not be good at it at the beginning. Yeah. And that's okay. And the real win is just that you're building momentum, getting better every day.
Very well said. Guys, it's basically just taking action, right? Speaking of trading and investing, you profiled so many successful traders and investors, including Warren Buffett, Ray Dalio. All these investors and traders, what do they have in common in terms of mindset and habits?
Just a self-awareness to know that they should be doing that thing. If you study Warren Buffett, you'll see him say that he just understands markets. He just understands capital accumulation. He just understands how to build assets. He understands it. He has a knack for it. When he then wanted to do a charity, he gave it over to his wife to do because he doesn't understand how to distribute money. He doesn't know how to do that. It's not part of his thing, but capital accumulation is what he is great at. And Ray too. Ray was a terrible student. Ray had C's in school growing up. Everybody thought he was going to be a mediocre, average, below average character. Leaning in on what makes you special, because Ray Dalio is not the same as Warren Buffett, but they're both leaders. They're both at the top of what they do. respectively. And so if Ray Dalio just tried to be like Warren Buffett, he might be okay, but the best he's ever going to be is a really small junior baby version of Warren Buffett.
Yeah, I agree.
Where the people who aspire to be the best at something never want to be the next anybody. Ray Dalio didn't want to be the next Warren Buffett.
Yeah, I agree.
Whoever becomes, like when Warren Buffett passes on and the next genius comes through, you know, her goal is not going to be the next Warren Buffett. She wants to be the best her. And you can learn from Warren, you can learn from Ray, and you can learn from these people who've come before you. But ultimately, you will not win only by copying those people. You have to then take what they're doing and then find your own way, your own tweak, your own secret sauce to it. Inject your own personality, what makes you tick that other people can't copy. Because they can copy your strategies, but they can't copy you.
Yeah,
like there's something about Karen Fu that nobody else can copy. And so leaning in on that is how you're ultimately going to win.
Okay, that's very good, Evan. So your profile, all these, many of them very successful entrepreneurs and also athletes and even generous comedians. Who would you say is your top few favorite?
One of my favorites is Kanye West.
Kanye West.
It was one of the first ones for the top 10. And we did it because Kanye West does a lot of things that you may not agree with. He puts his foot in his mouth a lot. He says things that, you know, seem crazy sometimes. He's also really talented. He's also a genius, and people don't see that. You know, he won more Grammy Awards for music than anybody at his age at the time when he stopped singing. Just some of the stuff that he done, from moving from somebody who makes beats to then being a singer to then being an entrepreneur. I wanted to just show that other side of him as well. And so that video did really well. Ultimately helped me decide to go with this new idea of a top 10 rules for success on people. And so that's one of my favorite ones. The content is just as good as all the other ones that I had, but the story and the reason for doing it make it extra special for me. I don't know if we have anybody from Singapore that we've ever profiled.
There are a lot of friends out there I can recommend you. Really?
Okay, shoot me a message. We'll see.
Yeah, you should come to Singapore and we can meet.
I should come to Singapore? All right. If I do, I'll let you know. We'll do a live in Singapore.
No problem. I'm looking forward to meeting you. Okay, Evan, back to you. So how do you overcome those days where you're not 100% motivated, where you're discouraged by certain setbacks in your life? So how do you get yourself back up and then just do what you need to do?
You need to have goals that inspire you and motivate you. You need to be doing something that is exciting. It's not just, I want to be a trader to try to earn, $1 million. It's, you have to like the process of trading. If you don't like the work, everybody who's had success, Ray Dalio, Warren Buffett, all the people you look up to, they like the job. They like the day-to-day. They like the work. It's not just, how do I make another $1 billion? They like the process. And it doesn't mean every day is amazing, because it won't be. But overall, you actually like doing the work, where I think too many people are only obsessed about hitting a goal, and they'll say they'll do whatever it takes, and they lose motivation because they never actually liked the process of doing the work. So that's one. Two, I would say a routine in the morning that set you up for success are super important. I think most people wake up like an accident. I think most people wake up and they look at their phone and then they fall into their day and start responding to emergencies, as opposed to saying, what gets me motivated and excited? Like, if people love watching Karen Fu every day, then start your day with Karen. Like, if Karen's videos get you motivated and inspired, then watch Karen's videos every morning. Don't watch it once a week on a Thursday afternoon. Start your day with it, because it sets you up. And same thing, if it's reading Warren Buffett's book or watching a Ray Dalio video or whatever the thing is that gets you feeling motivated, then plan for it. Like, allow 10, 20 minutes in the morning to get your mindset right. Because if you started your day with boldness and confidence every day, your life is going to dramatically change. It's just going to happen. And then the third thing I would say is just, you start developing an identity around what you say you're going to do. And so you need to really, really be careful around the goals that you set for yourself. So if you say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning and I'm going to then do these 5 things. If you don't do those things, then you have taught yourself that I'm the kind of person who sets a goal and then doesn't do it. And then the next goal that you set, you're not going to do it, because that's the identity you're building for yourself. I set goals and I don't do them, and that's okay. So how do you expect to go do some big thing when you can't even wake up at 7 o'clock and get going, right? I try to build that identity for myself, that when I set a goal, I do it. And then even if it's hard, because some days is going to be hard, some days will be easy. But it's easy when it's easy. Sundays will be hard. Maybe you're feeling really sick. Maybe whatever. There's a lot of things that life will throw at you that will make it hard. When you still do the thing, when you still set the goal and you follow through, when it's hard, that's your time to be a champion. That's when you build up the identity that when I set a goal, I do it even though it's hard. So then the next time something hard comes in, you start to expand your universe of what is hard. Because if you think waking up at 7 o'clock in the morning is hard, you're not going to be able to handle more difficult things, harder things. You can't go off and build an empire if you can't handle this little tiny thing.
Yeah.
And so starting to build that identity that once you set a goal, that thing has to happen. And every time you do that thing, you build up that identity for yourself. And every time you don't, you tear it down. And so it's really, 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 really important that you set goals that mean something to you and then you actually do them.
If somebody wants to start a business today, should they just go into a job, get a few years of experience, or should they just jump right into it and just do it?
So I would say both. I think everybody should test entrepreneurship. Just like everybody should try to write a book, everybody should try to be an entrepreneur. You know, the world's greatest entrepreneur maybe never became an entrepreneur again because they never took a shot. They never tried. They just had this idea. I think you should try to start a business on the side and see if you're good enough. Like making money in business, having success in business is going to come from providing value. Can you provide value to your customers? If your YouTube channel is not taking off, it's because you haven't provided enough value to your customers. If a stockbroker gets dumped, it's because the stockbroker didn't provide enough value to their clients. You didn't make me enough of a return. Like when you don't provide value, you lose. And when you provide lots of value, you win. The thing is, at the early days, if you're a young entrepreneur getting started, you may not be able to provide value yet. You don't know how to provide value. You're trying, you're learning, you're testing. If you can provide a ton of insane value right out of the gate, then go do it. Try it. See if you win. If you can't, then I would try to get a job where I'm learning from the person that I want to be like. If I want to learn about investing, I probably wouldn't go to Berkshire Hathaway because the distance between me and Warren Buffett is so big. I'm never going to hang around him. And I'm going to end up being an intern and getting coffee for people and not learning the thing. I would try to find an investment firm where it has 10 people or less, where I can really get to know, who the head person is, spend a lot of time with her, and really get to learn. Like the point of a job is to learn. Yes, to make some money, but the primary goal of a job should be to learn something. If you're making a lot of money, but you feel like there's no growth and you're not learning, you're not happy in that job. So you want a job where you're going to learn. If your ultimate goal is to be an entrepreneur, then go work for an entrepreneur who you want to potentially be like and start your thing on the side. Evenings, weekends, you're doing your thing on the side, lunch breaks, early morning, like whenever you find your time, you dedicate it to your business while you're learning. And then when you get to the point where your business is making enough to survive, you're not buying Ferraris, you're not living the high life, but survive. You can buy food, you can pay for your rent, you can pay for internet. That's when you can quit your job and go all in on your business.
Okay, that's great, Evan. One last question before I end off. What is one thing that all your die-hard fans and followers don't know about you?
That they don't know about me, or they do?
Yeah, they don't know about you.
Me. What's one thing my diehard fans don't know about me? Wow. I share a lot of stuff. I collected wrestling cards. WWE now used to be WWF. I don't know how big wrestling is in Singapore, but the Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior. When I was 8, 9, 10, I loved that world, and I would collect wrestling cards. I think it was before I even got into baseball cards. I got into wrestling cards.
All you diehard fans of Evan, now you know.
Now you know wrestling cards.
Now you know. Now you know what to buy him for birthday. All right, Evan, how should they find your details and also your channel?
If it's YouTube, just search for Evan Carmichael. You'll find the YouTube channel. You can find me in the networks as well. And they're looking forward to connecting. Any fan of Karen Fu is a friend of mine.
I'm sure there is a lot. Okay, guys, I'll put all his details down in the description below. So with that, I thank you for joining us. Talk to you soon.